Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Jeff Schroeder and I'm going to be your instructor for your next course in the program, which is Principles of Healthcare Research. And this program, this class is meant to build upon your previous knowledge. Each of you comes to class with a registered nursing license and with probably an associate's degree in nursing. And you've been introduced to research on a certain level in the past, and mean that you've had to look up articles and you've had to look up information on the internet, and you've used research in your past, for example, when you're talking about evidence-based practice, but you may not have been taught, or you may not understand all the different facets that go along with nursing research and how nursing research is conducted. And so this class is meant to be a basic primer on what research is all about, the different types of research, and how different research studies are used. I have, for about the last year, been using these introduction videos. Each week I'll be posting a video to give a little bit of information to help you understand the information a little bit. Hopefully make the class a little bit more personal, where I can give some actual feedback about the discussions that have gone on in class, and give you some little hints or tricks or information that will help you with the various assignments as we move through. So starting from this first week, the very first week of class, we're going to talk about research from a very broad perspective. In the broadest perspective, we can basically take nursing research and put it into two different camps. The first camp is something called quantitative research. And quantitative research is probably that form of research that you think about whenever you think of research. It's all about numbers and statistics. If you think about research as being statistically driven and that statistics are an important part of research, that's usually when we're talking about quantitative research. Quantitative research is very deductive, meaning that we take a lot of evidence, very hard evidence, very concrete evidence that is based in statistics and in numbers. That's what we call it quantitative. It's all about counting things and coming up with the ratios and finding out how one variable measures against another variable. And then based on that, we can come up with certain deductions and come up with certain conclusions based upon what that deductive evidence is all about. When you hear terms like hypotheses and correlations, that's what we're talking about when we're talking about quantitative research. But that's not the only kind of research we have. Another kind of research is something called qualitative research. And qualitative is something that a lot of people would consider or might describe as more subjective. It's not really subjective, but it's a very much more intuitive and inductive process. And what I mean by that is that the idea is not to try to show cause and effect, or not show how one thing has an effect on another, but instead the goal of qualitative research is to try to find out more about what people think about something, or try to find more about what their attitudes are. And in a very general way of describing it, qualitative research in many ways precedes quantitative. In other words, we want to see what do people think about something. What do they perceive as being certain themes, or what information can people give us before we actually go out and start to count numbers to see which is better, or which has a particular effect over another. In a very, very simple examination, and I'll just kind of use just an example. Let's say that we wanted to see who makes the best hamburgers. Who makes the best fast food hamburgers in America? Is it Wendy's or is it McDonald's? Well, there's two ways you can approach it. From a quantitative perspective, you would go out and you would come up with some sort of a customer satisfaction survey, something where you count numbers and talk to people, on a scale of 1 to 10, how did you like your McDonald's hamburger? And then take that same scale over to Wendy's across the street and say, on a scale of 1 to 10, what did you think about the Wendy's burger? And then you can kind of come up with these two different studies that you can show quantitatively that people enjoy one hamburger over another. I don't know why I chose those two examples. I don't really like either of them, but you get the idea. You can come up with something quantitative to show that one is actually better than another. Anytime that you hear that, according to surveys or according to research, that widget A is 10 times better than widget B, that means that there was some sort of a quantitative study that occurred. But there's another way that you can do that study as well. You can, rather than coming up with survey to see how people, felt about their hamburger experience. You could just go to McDonald's and say, let's watch people eating and let's observe their behaviors. And how many people do you say, hear them say, wow, this is great. And then talk with them a little bit about how was your hamburger eating experience today? And tell us more. And what did you really like about it? And then you can walk over to Wendy's and do the same thing and go through the same process. And what that would do is it would give you some information about what people's perceived experience is like. But you couldn't take that experience just using those two that very simple, it's not really an experiment, but that very simple survey to see what people think. All that does is just tells you what they think. You can't say that, well, McDonald's is better than Wendy's or vice versa. All that it does is says, here's what people say. And then maybe we can come up and then go further into describing exactly what it is that, how are we going to measure that experience? So I don't know. Maybe that example works for you. Maybe it doesn't. But that is the basic difference between qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative is always looking at a person's values, attitudes, and beliefs, trying to find out more information about a particular subject that something may not be known much about. Whereas quantitative is statistical. It's trying to show cause and effect, and it's trying to show how one thing supersedes another, or how one thing has a actual cause of effect on another. So anyway, in week number 1, we're going to start with this very basic discussion, and you're going to be reviewing a couple different articles and talking about this difference between the qualitative and quantitative. Always the discussion questions are always going to be due on Wednesday, with your follow-up post due by Saturday. And then the grades will always be done sometime in the following week. And so for this week, that is your primary goal. I encourage you all to review your syllabus and review the course to see about things upcoming. And I'll be giving you a little bit more feedback as we go along. Rather than go through the whole syllabus right now in a video, I'll go ahead and let you do that. A little bit about myself. I am a registered nurse. I am also my doctorate is in education. I have conducted research both for a nursing organization as well as some educational research. I live on the West Coast. As I speak to you and do this video right now, I'm actually in Rosarito Beach, Mexico. I have a house here in Rosarito as well as one in Southern California. And so you'll see me on different videos at different times, depending on which location I'm at any given time. Since most of my work is online, it kind of makes it nice to be able to do that. Please keep in mind that there is that time difference. So if you're writing me at 6 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, and 3 o'clock in the morning here, I generally will be able to answer just about any email within 24 hours. I have posted in my faculty bio in the class an alternative email that you can use to get a hold of me it comes up on my cell phone. And so if you have a really important need, something that needs an immediate answer, feel free to go ahead and contact me at my personal email. Otherwise, just go ahead and use my school email. As I said, I'll be posting these videos usually on Sunday or Monday of the week. I'm opening this class. This class actually starts on Monday. I'm recording this on Thursday evening, and we'll be posting this on Thursday night. So you'll have access to the class to look at the class, but really not expected to post anything until Monday at the earliest. So I look forward to being with you in class. I look forward to getting to know you and to helping you with your goals. I look forward to meeting you through the introductions. As you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. And it's great to be with you. I look forward to a great class, and I'll see you in the discussion forums.